Everybody, Rev Nation here, and I am filming a 1,500 mile ownership experience update, I guess. So here's some of the things that I really like about it. So first is the ride quality. This ride's absolutely phenomenal for what they did and like the type of platform this is. It's ultra smooth, but not so smooth that it's, you know, really spongy and kind of floaty and stuff like that. There's not a lot of body roll, which I appreciate. And so secondly would be the seats and just the overall comfort of the cabin. So I'll open her up here. Sorry, she's a little dirty. But yeah, I mean, this cabin is ultra spacious. It is really laid out quite well. I do wish I had dual zone climate controls because the missus and I tend to disagree about temperatures. But beyond that, you know, it's really usable. I'll give you the back seats. I got a bunch of crap loaded into here, but that'll kind of give you an idea of how much room is back here. So again, you know, really usable cabin, which is great. So the third thing that I like is actually this bed. Now, the height and just the dimensions and everything for it make it really easy to use. And the fourth thing that I like is the overall styling of this. You know, I don't love the XL trim, but I do really like the dimensions and the styling of the Ford Maverick. It still looks like a traditional truck. It's not some kind of weird, overly designed thing like similar to the Hyundai Santa Cruz, where it's just a bit much, in my opinion. Average getting 39.8 miles per gallon, which is not terrible, but it's definitely not as good as what a ton of other people have been reporting. So that is a slight downside, but could be because I've been doing a lot of highway driving and things like that. So come on. Let's get into things that I don't like. So what I don't like is the audio system. It is absolutely terrible. It's got just a very high echo and way too much treble. And then when you try and introduce the bass into it, it just sounds really cheap and yeah, not great. Rear visibility is also kind of not great. Just, you can see, I mean, look at that rear window, it's tiny. There's no way around that. And you do have some pretty hefty blind spots that I've been noticing the more I drive it. I really hate these wheels. I think that they are absolutely hideous. Put in the comments if you think that I should just get new ones or try and like paint these. I've seen people do that, but they look like absolute shit in my opinion. And the biggest complaint that I have is the Ford dealership experience. It has been absolutely awful in every way, shape, and form. And I don't look forward to having to have those shitheads in my life, but that is, you know, what you sign on for when you buy a vehicle, especially a brand new one, right? You got to live with that manufacturer. And unfortunately, I'm going to be stuck with a myriad of scumbag Ford dealers that just can't get it together. Overall, would I buy this truck again? Absolutely. You're not going to get anything close to this utility for this price. I paid $23,500 for this. And the fuel economy and just the overall comfort is unparalleled. There's nothing else like it on the market. All right, now let's get into the driving experience portion of this. Overall, the get up and go in this hybrid is actually pretty good. Let me put it in sport mode here, and I'll blast off. So, I mean, it's not bad, but I mean, how often are you going to drive around in sport mode the whole time? Probably not, right? So it does change the throttle response quite a bit and give you a bit more immediate power. But if I'm not driving around in that mode all the time, I'm not going to really be able to access that quick enough for it to make a difference, because it's on the last mode selection. So you got a 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now I'm going to pass somebody. That's not realistic. So I just kind of keep it in normal pretty much all the time. I never really ride in eco mode. I just feel like it's too sluggish and it makes the drive a bit irritating. But yeah, ton of glass here, which is good for frontward visibility. It is not good when you live in a hot climate, because I feel like I'm often being pretty cooked in this cabin, which is funny because I'm wearing this freaking woolly Snuggie thing that my wife got me. Super comfortable, by the way. This thing's awesome. But, you know, I basically have to run the AC while I'm in here at all times, because there's just so much sun beating down. Even on like cloudy days, it still seems like the cabin is overly warm. So that's kind of a bit of a downside. The road noise is not as bad as people kind of made it out to be. Granted, I do have a bit better of a windshield now that they went with an aftermarket instead of the OEM factory windshield. So that actually did bring down my wind noise, which is still definitely present. It's just not quite as bad as what you get straight out of the plant. So that's a win, I guess. But when you get up to roughly 70, 75 miles an hour, it's pretty loud. It really is. Road noise, not bad. I mean, it's not the most insulated cabin and everything like that. You're definitely going to hear the road, but you're going to get that in most things, right? Like, they're not going to line this out and spend a bunch of money like it's a, I don't know, a Lexus or something like that, right? It's just not going to happen. It's an economy vehicle, and it's just going to be kind of loud and a bit of a tin can, and there's no way around that unless you line it out yourself, which I may. If I end up keeping this for like years and years, I probably will put sound deadening, and I'll just rip up the floor and open up the doors and everything like that, and I'll just put sound deadening in there. I could do this truck myself for $100, so not terrible, and it would make a world of difference, let me tell you. So yeah, other than that, folks, that's mostly my driving impressions.